Hey, my kinetic athletes, Moral Scott here to talk to you about today's at-home workout. What we're going to need today is at least one weighted object that we can hold in a single hand. So a dumbbell would work great, kettlebells can work too. If you don't have that, some type of object at home that you can hold in one hand. Optional stuff for today, maybe if we have two different weights of a weighted object, that would be awesome to have because our bent over rows are most likely going to be heavier than the Turkish sit ups that we're going to be doing later on. So that'd be a great option to have. Another optional piece of equipment would be the med ball, and we can use that during those ab mat sit ups, and we'll talk about that as we get there. But let's jump into the warm up. So what we're going to start with is 3 rounds, all of these different movements. You're starting with 24 mountain climbers. So from that high plank position, I'm wanting to bring my knees up to my chest. And since this is to get our heart rate up, I want to do this in a pretty fast fashion. You can go a little bit slower at the beginning, but as time goes on, try and pick up that speed, get your heart rate up, get breathing a little bit heavier. After your mountain climbers, you're moving on to 5 up dog to down dog. So you're starting off in that cobra position, hips to the ground, trying to push my shoulders away from the ears. Once you have that, then pushing your head through your shoulders, trying to get as much of a shoulder stretch as you can in that back position. Next movement will be 5 scorpions on either side. So from lying face down on the ground, hands out like a T, what I'm going to be doing, kicking one leg up and then across my body, trying to make contact with my opposite hand. That might not always happen. It's a good stretch for rotational movement of the back. But if you can't get all the way to your opposite hand, that's fine. Just try and work on rotating to either side. After your 5 scorpions, we're going to have a 20-second hollow hold just to prep our core. So again, hands and feet are off the ground, small of the back is in contact with the floor, holding that position. If I do need to scale that, I can bring my hands in, I can bring my feet in, or I can bring my hands and feet in to make that a little bit easier. Now we're moving on to the workout, the functional bodybuilding. It's a 16-minute flow of 3 different movements. So you're treating it like an AMRAP as far as once you complete a round, you just keep completing rounds until it's over, but not really with that same type of speed because you're not really going for rounds and reps here. More focusing on quality movement and the weight of the movement. Your first movement is going to be the ab mat sit up. If you have an ab mat at home, that's great, you can use it. If not, you'll live, it'll be completely fine. Sitting on the ground in a butterfly position, I want to throw my arms back with my shoulders touching the ground, and then throw my arms forward and come up and touch my toes. Now, if you want to make this movement a little bit advanced, what you can do is add a med ball into there. So instead of just using your hands free, put your hands around the med ball, touch it behind your head, try and keep the med ball closer to your body, so I don't want your arms straight out, keep them bent, and then bring them in. After that, we're going to have 12 bent over rows. This is where if we have 2 different dumbbells, we want to use the heavier one. So hinging over, trying to keep my chest upright, my back is still flat, pulling that dumbbell into the pocket. So we're not thinking about just pulling it straight up, we're thinking about pulling it back into our pocket. We're going to go 12 per side there. After that, we're going to have 8 single leg glute bridges. You can do this unweighted or weighted, it's up to you. If you are doing it weighted, just putting it in our hip pocket as we're doing this. So one leg will be bent, one leg will be straight. I'm pushing through that bent leg, squeezing my butt to get to the top of the rep. I can hold that for a couple seconds, then come down and release. You'll do 8 on either side there. The final part of this workout is going to be a finisher. More core work here. You're starting with a Turkish sit up. It's going to be a Tabata style workout today. So it's going to be 8 rounds, 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off. There's songs on like Spotify that you can use that time that out for you, or you can use that gym timer that I've sent out before. So your Turkish sit up is a straight leg sit up, but with holding a dumbbell or some type of weighted object. And if you have 2 dumbbells, this is the time for the lighter one. So holding it straight overhead the entire time. So when you're laying on the ground, it's going to be perpendicular to your body, but as you sit up, it's going to be parallel with your torso. So arms straight out, you're using your core to sit up and come back down. Just nice and controlled. If you can't do that, just a straight leg sit up will be fine. So ditch the dumbbell, just focus on doing a sit up, but with straight legs. The next movement in that Tabata will be the love tap. So you can set that dumbbell on the ground, sit far enough away from it so where your heels are in line with that dumbbell when they're out straight. What we're going to do then is try and lift our legs over and tap on either side of that dumbbell. So if you need to lean back, that's okay. You can use your arms to help support you, or if you want to make it a little more difficult, don't use your arms to support you. And that's the end of the workout. Let me know how you did, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below.